I got involved in the Succeed project because we think there's a really important piece, which is when parents have children who have to feed through a tube, there's a lot to learn. And often parents have been left on their own to learn that, and we're trying to change that situation.
I think feeding's a very personal and very meaningful activity for all of us, and that makes it a very fraught and challenging place to have a child who can't feed safely.
So what we're trying to do is understand, how do we do this? How do we improve the well-being of these children and their families as well? And what might we garner for the benefit of others who may not have an interest in feeding difficulties per se, but particular other areas of well-being?
Feeding difficulties affect predominantly children under 5, with the most common population being 0 to 3 years of children presenting with feeding difficulties. It can be any breakdown from the moment the food actually enters their mouth to the process of chewing, moving it to the back of their mouth and swallowing.
At the moment, we've got pockets of incredible clinicians working hard to work with these families and these children to make their lives better, but no one's brought everything together. And there's very little research in the area. And we know that children generally benefit from being part of research studies. So children with other conditions have better outcomes and better experience of their care if they're part of research studies. And we think children with feeding difficulties deserve that opportunity as well.
So it's a unique collaboration between researchers, clinicians in the area, and most importantly, the parents and the families of the children that we're working with. And it's the first of its kind.
Succeed is definitely groundbreaking. And the reason I'm saying that is because we're using different methodologies in an area that hasn't been used before.
The care that families receive is quite variable, and we think it can be better. And we think it can be better without having to spend a heap more money or take a lot more of clinicians' time. And one of the key ways we think it can be better that Anne's looking at is looking at brilliance in practice, what's already possible, and seeing if we can spread that. Another way is to look at what parents' experiences are and help parents connect with others and share all that knowledge that accumulates as parents go through these really difficult times.
There is no formal support out there. We know it exists in other disease groups, but there is nothing for children with feeding difficulties.
It's not so much about problem finding and problem solving, but learning what's working and giving rise to that. And so more often than not, we're hearing parents saying, I just want to know that I'm not the only one experiencing this.
So it's not a cookie cutter where we say this is going to work. What it is saying we've spent a lot of time listening and following what happens in families and in clinics, and here are some things which you might be able to attune to your context. Every family is different, every clinical interaction is different, and they have to be different in order to be successful.
What we're hoping will be of benefit and scalable are the lessons that we've garnered for the benefit of other people.
And it's easy to share some of these ideas. They don't need a lot of resources. They just need people to know each other and to share.
I feel that Succeed is a project that's of and for parents of children with complex feeding difficulties here in Sydney. And that means that there's a great cultural, linguistic and ethnic diversity that we're working with. That's what you get in a big conurbation like Sydney. And that's really been to the strength of the project. And I think that's, having had that diversity reflected in the people that we've worked with the clinicians and the parents, that really is going to make Succeed a study that's of and for Sydney, as well as for the wider world.
We know that there's families in need across the state, and there's vulnerable pockets no matter what health service or health district you are in. So that's a lot of potential to be able to replicate what we're doing across New South Wales.
So many long-term outcomes that we see for the project, and we're really just getting started. Not just for the clinic times, it's for every time. So that's where childfeeding.org has come from families telling us that in those first 4 days to 4 weeks of tube feeding their child, they need something they can reach out and grab that's evidence-based, that's informed by the parents who've had experiences before, but that's backed up by clinicians and researchers. And so it's really the first time that a public, research-informed, freely available website by parents for families has been created just around this issue, in a totally free and democratic way. We want to take this idea of the families, clinicians and researchers working together to see what lessons we can learn from building networks between the families who are having problems now and those who've come before, and the clinicians who are dealing with it now and those who've treated children in the past, and see that can this model work to be more effective than just trying to do more healthcare more efficiently, better. Maybe we can co-create healthcare that's more acceptable and has greater impact. And that idea is scalable.
We hope through the various things that we've been doing that families are going to feel a sense of connection, that this is okay, that other people have been through this. And by pooling this knowledge and making it available to parents, that's how we think we're going to get some of the most special